Sure, I'll bump.
Do I get capped there?
I know you love it.
Get this, Hey, Trigger, keep moving.
Dark is at 50, come on, baby.
No, he has no trinket. DH has no keep trinket. Kill this guy. You got this.
I have blind after, no, I blind him and we cap.
Hold on, he's DR. He's DR.
Wait, 4 seconds. Actually, Kidney, start capping.
Copy.
Yo, Monk, kill me.
Kidney.
I am.
Kidney.
Truth's right
We
now.
win. Yes.
Let's go!
What a game.
Let's go, Dark, man! Hey!
Yeah, that's the song.
Let's go!
Oh,
Where you at, Dark? Huh?
No.
Saw now looking to get the cap, but it looks like Kumu has
Pick the flag in the flag. I think Saw might be able to just go cap. Kuma's gonna go down.
come here. I'm gonna kill you and take that flag as Drew returns the flag. Zarashi with the huge Death Knight plays.
Sales representative for the Flesh.
I may or may not be sponsored by Fleshlight.
Hello and welcome everyone to the episode 23 of the Battleground Breakdown podcast, the show where we break down rated battlegrounds and discuss hot topics from around the rated battleground community. I'm your host, BG Wizard, and joining me as co-host is Drewdynamite, along with special guest today, Falsegodx, a top-end priest healer in RBGs. Anyways, Drew, what's new with you, man?
Well, aside from a little PC trouble that I'm not going to bore people with, because because of those reasons, I haven't been playing much of the game. But I've been doing fine with editing and stuff. But everything should be back up and running by the end of the month, or at least the first week of the next patch, and then I'll be back on to playing more. But other than that, I'm doing well.
Nice. False God, welcome to the show, man. Thanks for coming on. What's up?
What's up, man? No problem. Yeah, caught
So-
you guys on YouTube, and I was like, I like this content. That's what I like to see, Battleground stuff,
For sure. Well, we usually start out by asking if you can walk us through like your history of WoW and your streaming career. Basically just your WoW, your history in the game. And just walk us through that. Welcome to the show.
Well, I walked past my roommate playing this game for a few years in college and told him that it was the dumbest thing I ever seen. And one day he got up and I sat down and I've been stuck ever since. That's basically how that went. Had no idea about computer games. I come from, Call of Duty and Halo, Madden, stuff like that. But,
Nice.
I basically got into RPGs and I think MOP though. But I've been playing since at least Kata, maybe a little bit the X-Pac right before.
Yeah. Nice. Same here, dude. I know we've crossed paths a lot of times over the years. It's kind of cool to have you on because I've been playing RPGs since then as well. And
Right.
I've definitely seen you we've been in groups over the years. We fought against each other, so it's kind of cool to have you on the
Long
pod.
time.
The name False God does sound familiar. I probably have gone up against you here and there.
Yeah.
So-
I had 2 characters of this name, but go ahead. Yep.
Oh, I was just gonna say, what's your Dragonflight been like so far? Like, what do you like about Dragonflight? What do you dislike about it?
Dragonflight's been I would say I really just came back like season 4 of Shadowlands. So I was kind of building the B tag. So none of my old RPG buddies play RPGs anymore. So it's a struggle, trying to play a holy priest in RPGs when the community is, anti-holy priest.
Yeah.
So that's one. And then but once I got got a couple guys that would take me, it's been smooth sailing.
Nice. Yeah, we'll get into the Holy Priest discussion for sure at some point in this podcast. but healers are generally needed. So, and you're a good one, so I'm not surprised that you've found a home. All right, well, solo shuffle. What about solo shuffle? Have you tried it? Some of these topics you guys have heard us talk about on previous podcasts, but I think it's important to like, revisit them and ask our guests these questions. So, solo shuffle. Have you tried it, and what are your thoughts, Drew? Have you tried it yet?
No, I don't want to sit there for an hour. Next.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Falsegodx, have you tried solo shuffle?
Yeah, I have. I play a healer, so I don't have that, that waiting problem.
Yeah, there you go.
I think within my first two sittings, I got 2,300.
Nice.
Really, pretty fast. And then I guess the MMR kind of had to catch up with the CR of the DPS. I was 2,300 CR and getting like I want to say 700 CR DPS, and I don't know what happened. I like went in MMR hell, and I was like, yeah, I'm not finna keep queuing this. They're giving me 1,300 kids. Like, so I play every blue moon when I know I can't get an RBG in. I'll go in there. But I think it's fine. It's just my class it's a headache to play in there. But I don't have too much negative to say about it. I think it's all right. For starting it.
So, okay. So, yeah, you're a healer, so yeah, I guess you don't have the pain of waiting. That's good. But
yeah, I have different pains. Yeah.
yeah, true. Okay, well, what about have you I don't know if you're a 2s or 3s guy, but obviously Arena's been a little bit bigger than RBGs for a long time now.
Right.
Have you noticed or heard anybody say anything about like maybe the impact solo shuffle has on the game? Like, for example, Solo Shuffle comes into the game, and then all of a sudden 2s and 3s is a little bit more dead. Have you noticed anything
I
along
haven't
those
had
lines?
a lot of buddies that play, necessarily 2s like that. I used to run 2s a lot, but like I said, I play a Holy Priest, and then I was never an arena guy in the first place, but I have a buddy that's been like I think number 23 and 24 as Demo and Destro, like, so 3K, whatever. He says it's pretty hard to find healers for regular 3s
Yeah.
because everybody's just like in solo queue or whatever. So
Okay.
so I don't really feel that I can always go in LFG and find somebody to play with because I'm a healer, so I don't
Right.
have the same problems, but I do hear it.
Okay. Fair enough. That's fair. That's good answer. I touched Solo Shuffle when Shadow Priest was good. And I was really loving it. Took a break, came back, Shadow Priest was ass. And I can't sit 30 minutes, bro. So there's that. I'm a DPS, so I don't know. I would like to play it, but I can't wait that long. I just can't. And then also, in terms of 2s and 3s, I did a video on it, like where I opened the LFG. It was like Saturday night prime time, and it was like there was more people playing RBGs than Arena
Yeah.
in the LFG, and I just
It's a
couldn't
beautiful
help
thing
but
to see.
I couldn't help but think like it's really cool for RBGers, but also like Solo Shuffle has to be the reason that the arena is so dead. So I don't know. Anyways,
That's what a lot of people are blaming it on, and I including Vinruki, and I think it's true. I don't know how true it is, like how much it contributed to the death of 2s and 3s this season, but I think it did have enough of an impact to look back at it and say, like that unfortunately the Solo Shuffle might be an example of you think you do but you don't actually being true.
yeah.
I think it's just more blended problems. I wouldn't blame Solo Shuffle, like, and it's just Solo Shuffle. It's just
Yes.
I think it's more of implementation.
Mhm.
And like if you're in a queue, you can't like kind of sign up for other stuff sometimes, and so it's kind of wonky. Like I have friends that just made different accounts just so they can kind of sit a queue and do something else at the same time. I think that's more of a I don't know. They have to figure out a way.
I think they just fixed that, actually. I'm not.
Did they?
Sure, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think you can queue a solo shuffle now while you're in an RBG group.
Well, but what False God was saying, like, yeah, I don't blame Solo Shuffle solely, play on words, for why 2s and 3s are dead, but it is part of the reason. I just don't know how much.
I think solo shuffle is actually fun. So I don't think it did like a lot of harm necessarily. It's just the 2s and 3s is it suffers a little bit, but solo shuffle I think it still was a hit. I don't think it was a
Yeah.
miss per se.
Well, you also got to think too, like coming off of BFA and Shadowlands, there was the massive scandal at Blizzard, and the game was not in a good place. So, like, I still attribute a lot of kind of like the death of the player base to problems that happened before Solo Shuffle. But I do think at this point, if you only have 20,000 arena players and 15,000 of them are doing Solo Shuffle, it's just amplified now because the community's smaller. So, like, I think, yeah, it takes away, like you guys are saying, it takes away, but there's other reasons to why it's so dead in 2s and 3s.
I've said this several times before, like the game's not dying for only one reason. The game is dying for a list of reasons.
Yeah. All right, well, let's move on to the RBG rewards. The pretty much weekly segment at this point where we just complain about the same the same thing we've said on pretty much every podcast we've ever had.
Oh boy.
All right, we got Falsegodx on the show. Topic 2, RBG rewards. If you could change the reward system for RBGs, what would you add or change to RBG rewards?
They just need to add more rewards. Like, I don't know, give people pets, mounts, titles. That's a lot of reason people play certain parts of the game is just to get a specific color on something, a tabard or stuff like that. They just need to put a whole bunch of that stuff in a pot, throw it at different brackets. It'll actually make people want to queue, and that just honestly makes the game better. I that's what they need to do for Solo Shuffle as well, for like healers specifically. Like if the DPS want to play, boost, you got to reward healers, you got to reward people for doing stuff. Like they need more mounts. I think just having one mount for a season, like I think that's garbage, honestly. I think it should be more mounts. Like it'll just make everything flow a whole lot better. And this is coming from a guy that cares absolutely nothing about mogs and mounts, and I don't care about none of that stuff, but I know it would make a lot of people play.
Yep. I'm the same way. That's one of my main things. I've always said that like hero should just be, how like if you get gladiator in arena, you can only wear that gladiator title for like the next season. And then if you don't get glad in that season, your gladiator title disappears. I've always said like hero should be like that. So it should be like, what season are we in right now? I forget. Is it Eternal?
Season 1.
Obsidian or something? I forget. Whatever.
The next one is Obsidian.
Next one's Obsidian. So next season, if you get hero, I think you should get an Obsidian hero title, and it's like a rank 1 title. So like you have the Obsidian hero title, and that way it's not like hero of the horde and you get it once and like someone could have gotten it in Cataclysm at this point, like 12 years ago or whenever that was.
Right, now I see what you mean.
And they're still wearing the hero title. Like, are they really a hero of the horde? They played it 15 years ago. Like, where's the new title? And then also, yeah, like make it seasonal. You can only wear it seasonal, or put a seasonal title in front of the hero so that people know, like right now it's a feat of strength. So it's like you could have like the sinful hero of the horde feat of strength, but it should be a title because it's like a rank 1. Anyways, and then also the 50 wins over 2,400. I think you should just get a different color of the glad mount.
Something, anything, something.
Yeah, anything.
Yeah.
Drew, any I've already
Well,
I've already said what I just said like
Yeah,
300 times. So
what you both suggested, that's one option, and I would be perfectly fine with that option. The other option, I would say that I've said in previous broadcasts before, and it is it is a little controversial to do, but I'll say it again for people who don't know. I had an idea that like maybe you have a character, you earn gladiator in any bracket. You get the seasonal mount for that season, and if you get gladiator or 2400 whatever in another bracket on that same character that's different from the one you got your mount from, you get a token, and with that token you can purchase a mount you missed from another season. That's a little controversial because of prestige and all that, but I think it's also incentive to not only get players to partake in other brackets, but also an incentive for people who are turned off from playing the game because of FOMO, which is for those of you who don't know, FOMO is fear of missing out. And that's how I often hear that from like new players. It's like, oh, WoW's been out for too long, and there's all these things that like are in the game that you can't get anymore, and it's like not really fair because I didn't start at that time, so it's kind of a turnoff, and
Yep.
it's a controversial idea, but
no, I think
it's an
there's-
idea.
I think there's an audience that would like what you're saying, like for
And an
sure.
audience that would hate what I'm saying too.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. I definitely see it from both sides. But I do like the idea of if you get, glad on this one character in this bracket, and then if you go say you're a 3v3 gladiator,
Mhm.
arena, whatever, and then typically a lot of those guys they just go do something else for the, they don't really, a lot of those guys don't really RBG like that. It should be like, say if I get glad and then I go over to RBGs and I push rating, if I have, say hero and glad, it gives me something special. I think that would definitely help both brackets, honestly.
That'd
Like
be
anything,
sick.
any incentive, any
Oh,
innovation.
If you
Absolutely
tie
good
them
idea.
together, so bro, that'd be sick. We'd get so many more gladiators playing RPGs. That'd be cool.
Exactly. Absolutely, that's exactly
Oh
what would
my
happen.
god, that would actually spice up the top end so much. Oh, that's a really good idea. Okay, so to sum it up for RBG rewards, titles, mounts, some sort of innovation.
Right.
Okay. All right, moving on. 6v6. Falsegodx, what do you think of 6v6? And then after we talk about 6v6, let's talk about 6v6 solo queue. So start us off with normal 6v6. What are your thoughts?
Normal 6v6. I am anti 6v6. I am absolutely anti 6v6. I don't want nothing to do with it. I remember I remember playing it a little, and I'm like, and it was just a brawl, and then I thought about it from like the the higher end. I'm like, this is gonna be a a bloodbath. Like, I don't want. I already know I'm not gonna want to heal that bracket. I think it's just gonna be a wash. I think it's gonna turn. A lot of people might think they want it. I don't think nobody's gonna get over 2K over. It's gonna be like, I think the meta is gonna be like the worst meta in the world for those type of brackets. Like, some classes just not gonna be able to do anything. You're not gonna be taken into groups. I think if they did do a 6v6, it would have to be solo queue. I don't think I would want to do, queue up with my friends, because it's gonna be, oh no, we're not taking you, it's gonna be a bloodbath. Like, no. If they put it in the game, I think it would have to be solo queue, but I don't want anything to do with it.
So you think it would have to be solo queue
Yeah.
just because of this?
I think that's the only way it's really gonna make it, like, I wouldn't say fair, but give people a chance.
So here's an idea I had. What do you think of 6v6 solo queue, right? You hit join battle, then you get in a lobby. what do you think of like drafting teams though? Like so like like s- no. just
I don't
pair
know.
the
I
teams
don't
up
know.
and go.
I'm hearing you out.
I just thought it would be cool to like have like an automated draft system in the game. But I don't know how. I don't know. I felt like it would be cool because it would be like, I don't know, just as an RBG leader, there's something about like picking your team and like picking the right comp, picking the healers first if they're good healers, like you outsmart the other person picking, and
Right.
then
See, that sounds
you
fun to you. I think that would give 90% of the community anxiety.
all right.
And Falsegodx actually brought up, a point that I haven't even considered, but that I just realized, it's hard enough to get into groups in 10v10 if you play a certain class or spec and you only want to play that spec. But now, with 10v10, you have more room to invite, the quote unquote oddball out as opposed to 6v6 meta. So
Yes
that
and
would be
no.
another.
I think
Really?
it would scale down. Like so how do I explain this? I don't think it would be like, yes, you guys are right. I think it'd be more amplified in 66. So let's just say like you need a tank, you need 2 healers. So then you have 3 spots for DPS. Well, if Rets are just completely busted, you take 3 Ret Paladins, right? That's what you guys are saying?
Right.
Okay.
Like,
but I think that there could be a world where you see more, like it's never just one class, man. There's always like a counter meta. I don't know, like yes, there's
it's just
always
very hard to balance.
There's always strong classes, but like I'm just thinking, like if I had a 6v6 team, like even if Shadow Priest wasn't the best class, like I bet you I could still push rating on Shadow Priest. Does that make sense?
I mean, I agree with you. I believe I'll be able to push rating, but
I don't know.
But would you get
I don't know.
invited is the question.
I don't get invited
Yeah,
anyways.
yeah.
Who are we kidding?
I don't know. But I was watching one of you guys' videos. See, y'all saying solo queue and saying 6v6. I would actually take a solo queue RBG any day over a just regular 6v6.
Okay, so 10v10 solo queue.
Yeah, and the thought was, I forgot who I was talking to, but the thought was you could only queue either a certain amount of them within a week, maybe, or at a certain time, so like the brackets wouldn't bleed because everybody's just doing solo queue RBGs.
So here's an idea. So Guild Wars 2 does... Guild Wars 2 has solo queue PvP, okay? So you queue in, and I think it's 5v5. It's kind of like RBGs. Anyways, but then what they do is they have tournaments. So they have tournaments like every, I think it's like every 2 hours, and then there's like every 12-hour one, and then there's like an every month one or something like that. And basically, you can only queue as a team during those tournaments. So like it's kind of what you're saying, I think. So like if they could do like I don't know. It's kind of what you're saying though, I think. Where it schedules everybody's time to like play the competitive mode. And I fucking loved it, man. Guild Wars 2 tournaments, they were freaking fun. You get 5 guys, you hop in Discord, and like you play a tournament. It's all automated in the game. So like there's no tournament organizer or anything. It's just like you just literally have a party. You hit sign up, tournament starts, puts you in a game. If you win, you know what I mean? Like, and it just rewards you. It's pretty cool.
I don't know how you played that game. I played that game for approximately 30 minutes and figured out that my buddy told me, no, you can't get a mount. I was like, I'm out of here.
Dude, their mounts are badass. What?
No, I don't know what it was, but I remember him telling me that I couldn't get a mount. And I remember like running across with my little bunny thing, whatever it was. And I was like, I'm logging off this game. I'm not about to be running across.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I was like, it's not happening.
So
I also tried Guild Wars 2, but what turned me off about it, well, I mean, it wasn't terrible, the little I played of it, but what kind of turned me off what was just the setting wasn't as compelling as WoW because there were no factions and every race could be every class. I mean, I'm sure there's more stuff I would have liked about Guild Wars 2 if I kept playing, but like right from the get.
random BGs.
Okay.
We had some technical difficulties. This is part 2 of the podcast. Random BGs. I'm not sure where we left off. So,
well, Falsegodx, he had an idea about like some sort like a special brawl that brought in that made old items relevant. Falsegodx, you want to?
Yeah. So, I was telling was it Drew here?
Mhm.
Like, what do you think? Okay, so what do you think of time walking? Think of time walking, but for BGs, where you can use all this old stuff and everything is scaled to kind of make it a little bit less crazy, but you can use like your old legendaries, old weapons, old 4 sets from whatever expansion you got it from. Like, it is relevant enough at this scaled level in a BG. That was
that's
the thought.
interesting. It's
I've been thinking about that for years.
It's interesting to me because personally, like I think that I wonder how many people play normal Battlegrounds, and and if remove like if merge like if we were to do a solo queue 10v10, like if we could somehow make that the random BG. Do you know what I mean? So like whenever somebody just hits join battle on a BG, it's just a rated solo queue. Like so like let the people who would randomly do like who would just normal random Battlegrounds, let
So
them
would
be
people
let them be
So-
the 1200
able-
players.
use that's funny. But would they still be able to use like their potions and whatever they got in there?
Oh, true. I guess not. I don't know. I was just thinking about it as it relates to like 10v10 solo queue because the one
Right.
thing I would hate to happen is Blizzard tries to like do the next thing. Like so let's say they do a solo shuffle but for 10v10. And
Mhm.
all of a sudden RBGs are dead. And if you're a DPS,
Mhm.
you're waiting 40 minutes for a game. That's what I would hate to see happen. So I'm just the reason I always suggest removing random BGs is because it would boost the player base for that solo queue so that
People would be outside of your house with pitchforks if they remove random BGs.
you think so?
I
Yeah.
think so.
Oh yeah, I
I'd
don't
probably
want
wanna-
random BGs removed.
Yeah, there's probably more people that do those anyways than RBGs.
Probably.
Yeah.
Well,
Is
again,
it-
like
is
I
it
said, they just
fun?
need more incentive for rated.
Right.
Yeah. All right. All right, so
But yeah, but that was the thought, was to a little bit more fun for random BGs.
yeah.
Just let everybody pretty much use everything that they
No, that
found
could be
in the
cool.
game.
As like a time walking brawl, right?
Yeah.
I can see a
right,
lot of
right,
people liking that.
right.
Yeah.
I I know how to play it.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Let's dive into our classes. Let's go into Holy Priest first. So Falsegodx is our resident expert Holy Priest here on the show. Where do you rank Holy Priests? How do you think you guys are right now compared to other healers? Walk us through what's going on with Holy Priest.
In what area of the game?
I don't know. How are you? How's your healing? What's best with your what are the best healers that go with you? You know,
In
talking
any
about
area you
RPG.
play.
yeah.
Honestly, I think we're at the bottom. Just be honest with you.
Worse than
Uh,
than HPAL for
I
like.
think HPAL is a sleeper, but
It
you know
is.
you will never know because nobody's gonna take them.
Yeah.
But the HPAL that I've played with, you know, is topping meters and it seems really, really good.
It's a sleeper.
I like HPAL. Actually, I would like to play with either like this would be my comp. It would be a Holy Priest, HPAL, Disc Priest, or if not with a Disc Priest, a Mistweaver. I don't even like playing with dragons. I don't know if y'all know that. I'm
Really?
like anti-dragon. Yeah.
I don't know if you watch South Park, but I can picture you you know, on your priest looking at the dragons being like, "Took their jobs."
Yeah, I hate dragons, bro. There's something about them. I don't know. I don't like them. Maybe I just don't know what they do, or they just be killing you with what is that ability called?
I'm with you.
Rewind or something. I don't know. Whatever
Yeah.
they do, I don't know. Like, I think the skill cap on them is something I run into a lot with them.
Yeah,
So,
dude, it's funny. When I came back and I was trying to test Shadow Priest and I thought it was horrible, I queued into like another Shadow Priest, and this dude just like shredded me in damage. So I went in my details and I looked at what his top damage was, and it was time dilation, I think, from an evoker. And I was like, what the fuck? This guy's topping meters off of a fucking
It's all you gotta do, BG. You just gotta make friends with a dragon.
Yeah. Nah, dragons have
I'm
been
not even sure what time dilation. I don't even know what it does.
I don't either. I just
I have
know it
no
does
idea.
damage, yeah.
Every time someone says I'm dilating, I'm thinking of a woman going into labor.
Oh, jeez.
Every time every time our Presevokers say that in RBGs.
That's actually funny.
So you think you got Holy Priest pegged at the bottom, eh? That's interesting.
Holy
I thought
Priest,
you were
Damn.
gonna.
Holy Priest at the bottom.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought you were gonna say, okay, we're making a comeback.
See, and it's not. It's I don't know. It's just like how the class is. It's just it. I don't know. They need to just go into talents and just get rid of some stuff. Like in the talent tree, they just need to throw away that. You just got to take too much stuff to have a half decent class. Like some stuff just should be baseline, and then you know, so we can. Let me pull this thing up. I'm just talking off the bottom. Let's see. Talent calculator. I can. All right, like for instance, we have like, well, I guess other classes have to have it too. Like, I don't know. I just hate our talent tree, honestly. I'll just put it like that. There's some stuff I just feel should be baseline, and it's like plenty of things in there, and then so you can actually play a class that feels fun. Like I like Holy Priest just because you know I'm just die-hard priest, and this is just the funnest thing to play right now. But it's just some stuff just seems utterly useless.
Are you anti-disc or?
I don't like how it is right now, but I know for a fact that disc is well, I feel like disc gonna be the best healer in RBGs like 10.1 when we get our set pieces. I don't think it's gonna be close. They're gonna have to nerf them or something.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I know what I'm
The
gonna take to my
2 piece
groups
and the
then.
4-piece, yeah.
All right.
But I could
We'll
be
see.
biased, you know, try to get them nerfed before I get nerfed.
Yeah, man. That's what happened to me, man. My Shadow Priest we were killing it, and then all of a sudden we got nerfed, and then it just went in the gutter. So, all right. Well, let's talk about Death Knights then, Drew. I believe you guys just got buffed, right?
Oh yeah. Well, Unholy did. Frost had a rework. I'm talking about 10.0.7.
Mhm.
Frost got a rework a little bit and a little bit of a buff, and then it got nerfed, but by 3% across the board, and then it got a little bit buffed with their obliterates again because Blizzard is nerfing crit overall in PvP. So, but basically, Unholy, from what I've seen, is still the top dog. Frost is not bad at all. It's just for whatever reasons, Unholy seems to be the preferred spec in high-rated RBGs, and I believe arenas too. But one thing I will say, and I cover this and more in in the video I'm working on, talking about Death Knights, how they work in RBGs. no matter how good or bad their damage is, they're still useful to take because of their utility with Chains of Ice and Death Grip. So
Right.
even if we don't out damage like warriors or rets or whoever, like those two things where we are forever going to be useful in RBGs. So it's
Right.
always valuable to have one DK in your group solely because of that.
Right.
Yeah, I started seeing a little bit more unholy DKs. I'm
Mhm.
still not sure about their damage, like if they can be one of the top contenders right now.
They
But
don't have to be in RBGs.
yeah, well, as long as they can come in with like A tier damage, but then have Chains of Ice, like I think they're good.
Even B tier, like it's still
Yeah.
if it's C
True.
tier damage, then maybe.
Yeah,
but like
okay,
B
B
or
tier.
A tier, like you always have a Death Knight.
But it
they're
feels like
they're
you
holding
guys-
still so everybody else can kill them. That's what they'll start saying.
It feels like you guys are in that spot right now, though, where after the buff, like unholy DKs are pulling their weight now.
In 10.1, Unholy is getting buffed. Frost is also getting buffed a little bit, and I say buffed because of the tier set that they reworked it. Because you know the Freezy Dragon Frost DK shoot, that AOE stun that goes in a straight line. At first, they were having it so that it would shoot off automatically after you use Frost Strike or Obliterate a certain amount of times. I forgot, but then I think they changed it so that now it just reduces the cooldown. I don't remember exactly, but you know, from that tier set alone, we might see Frost DK pull back up a bit. It might do better than Unholy. It might be on par. It might be not as good. It's hard to tell. And me personally, I don't mind either spec because I just pick whatever's the most popular, whatever's the most desired in RBG comps. I played both. I played, BFA, I was Unholy. Through all of Shadowlands, I was Frost, and Season 1 of Dragonflight, I went back to Unholy. So, it's the only advantage Frost has over Frost. The only advantage Frost has over Unholy, is that it's more brain dead and it's easier to play. Like
I wasn't expecting that.
Like Frost DK is one of the easiest specs to play in the game. I promise you. It like Unholy takes like 5 brain cells to play. Frost DK takes like 2. Like that.
Noted.
So yeah.
Well, speaking of fucking brain cells and playing classes, the Shadow Priest class right now, which obviously is my class, it went from being really good at the start of the season to being overcomplicated, like way too many buttons, and then it was nerfed and it wasn't good, and I'm just now figuring out that it's actually viable again, but it's hard. Like, there's a lot of hard casting you got to do. I just figured out this new spec, so I completely reworked it, and I'm liking the spec. It's instead of playing off of like mind games and Shadow or Death, which I've been doing since Shadowlands. It's basically now you mind flay, insanity, and you just get 5 stacks of this buff that makes your dots hit 10% harder. And then from there, it's basically just I play Void Torrent in RBGs. So and then I play Dark Ascension. So basically,
I'm sorry. Is Void Torrent the one where you shoot off those shadowy things with fears on the floor?
No. Void Torrent is the channeled. It's like our Glacial Spike. It's like a. But nobody's been playing that. They've all been playing Damnation, which applies all your dots. So basically, Shadow Priest. Picture this. Shadow Priest, basically one button, bang, all your dots are applied to your target. Okay, that's what everybody's been playing for a long time now. So what I did is I said, fuck that talent, because they're removing it anyways next patch. So I took I took our version of the Glacial Spike instead of the dot thing. And what I do now is I just every 30 seconds I have like a near one shot. The problem is though, is you have to hard cast a lot. So because you don't have that instant dot thing anymore, you have to hard cast all your VTs, and then you have to hard cast your Void Torrent and your Mind Games. So you basically can Mind Games into Void Torrent, and it's gonna do, I don't know, 70% of somebody's health, and so you can do that every 30 seconds. And then I took what's it called? I just said it earlier. Dark Ascension, I think it's called. Where it increases your non-dot damage by 25%. So what I do is every minute I have that. So every other Void Torrent's a 30-second cooldown. So every other Void Torrent, I can like basically one-shot somebody. The problem is in RBGs, if you get trained or you get kicked, like if you have bad positioning and you get kicked, you're not gonna do anything. Like it's like a mage trying to.
That's where Death Grip comes in.
Yeah, it's like a mage trying to spam cast Glacial Spike, except it's worse because it's a longer cast. It's channeled, right? So it's very easy to stop, but it's given me hope. I fucking loved Shadow Priest, and then I was like, we are gone. Like, our class is useless. I had him like C tier. Nobody wants a Shadow Priest. We're garbage. Trash can. Throw it out. I re-rolled Mage. I re-rolled Rogue. And then I just came back and I'm like, holy shit, it's doable again. So
I was surprised when you started quote unquote maining Mage. I was like, oh man, Shadow Priests are not in a good spot if he's doing that.
No, they weren't. They weren't. But this new spec, it gives me hope, especially heading into 10.1. I'm thinking I could be like a solid B tier, if not A tier. I'm hopeful. So Shadow Priest, not the best, but we're gonna make it work.
All right, so people, I don't know, these RBG leaders, there's something else. So all right, so I play a healer. 9 times out of 10, I'm playing a healer unless I'm messing around on my Brewmaster. Shadow Priest is probably the one class that I know can like mess up a game for a healer. Like I would take a Shadow Priest in my group if I led. I would actually take 2. It's the most annoying thing to deal with. And then I don't know, Siphene, people don't kill it. Yeah. You got 2 instant cast range CCs that is hard to deal with. Like, I think Shadow Priest. Oh, by the way, I was checking it out on the PTR 10.1. I might be going back Shadow.
Really? That's exciting. Really? Let's go.
I like it. I like.
There's some hope.
That's good. Yeah, because they're buffing.
BFA. I think BFA. I was like top 1, 2 Shadow Priest, something like that in RBG, just back and forth.
Same here, brother.
Yeah, like
so that's exciting because I feel like, I don't know, you kind of need a good team. You need good players around you to make it work. That's what I've noticed.
You can pretty much carry though. Like, say if you're a Shadow Priest and you're playing, if you're playing with like an Affy and they have typically they might just try to run down the Affy. But you can silence and stun a healer like by yourself and fear another one. Just stuff like that like really gets kills. I've seen it happen. It happened to me, and that's why I'm all for it.
No, I'm a huge healer killer. That's I get into games and I'm like, kill the monk. Just send a side.
I watched a lot of your videos. I've seen it.
Send a Siphene and fucking stun them, and we're good to go. But I do think our damage is a little bit harder to get off though than like, I don't know, Warlocks or like Boomkins right now seem to be destroying.
Oh yeah,
so
sick, for sure.
I kind of put it after playing Mage the last like 2 months. I kind of put it in the same category. At least the spec I'm running. It feels like it's kind of okay, you can maybe kill someone every 30 seconds. That's kind of where the game plays at right now. But it's powerful. Especially if you got like a Ret and Warrior smacking your target and you just send like a Siphene, and it's pretty nice. Anyways, is there anything else you guys want to talk about before we wrap the show up?
Well, actually, there was one other thing I wanted to say that I realized when you were talking about PvP talents. with unholy DKs. Well, first off, every time I see a Psy Fiend, I kill it. So I don't know if like I don't know how detrimental that is to like Shadow Priests, if that, but
We're gonna have to edit this out, man. They can't know. They can't know
Okay.
this information.
well, but I always say that in groups. Like every time there's a Shadow Priest, like sure you kill the Psy Fiend. All right, but I don't know if you know the reanimation ability for DKs. You probably don't know what it is because
Yeah,
nobody
definitely know
ever
what it
takes it.
is. I'm anti-DK. I trust you. I know what it is.
You summon a zombie with 5 health, and if it walks over to the target, and if it touches the target, then it explodes
stuns.
for damage and stuns everyone around it. But it sucks,
They're
and no DK with a brain will take it because it's so easy to kill. You kill it by just looking at it. But in 10.1
Yep.
from the recent patch notes I read is that it's untargetable. And it does 20% of the player's health.
Broken.
Like I imagine the 20% health. I wouldn't be surprised if that gets nerfed. But if it can't be targeted and it can't be killed by AOE, that might be worth taking, and that might put Unholy over Frost. Because the Frost, like the main thing that puts them over the Unholy is that they have an AOE disruption with the Freezy Dragon. But with Unholy, like we could now do that with the zombie.
Right. The zombie, did you check? Does it just cost like 2 rooms, or is it like a cooldown? I forgot. I haven't played.
I
DK
think
in so long.
when I looked at it, it was like a short cool. It wasn't that long of a cooldown. It was like 15 seconds.
Okay, yeah, I'm not.
If I'm
less
remembering right,
scared.
I could be wrong.
I don't know, because I feel like you could spam it. When this was a long time ago, like you pop whatever that gives you rooms back fast, and you just kind of spam it. Like one of them's gonna hit you. Like I remember that's how I played it for a while. But I hope I hope they change it because it's broken. I already don't like DKs. I'm telling you right now.
I probably never noticed because I have gone up against other DKs who play that before in arenas, and but because I have an AOE dot, I'm just like, oh, okay. Outbreak.
Right.
All right, your zombies are dead. What now, asshole?
All right, zombies. All right, thanks, guys. Make sure you guys comment below. Click the link in the description. Go to Falsegodx YouTube. Go to Drew's YouTube, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace, everybody.
Peace out.